Hello and welcome everybody. It is time tonight. It is the grand finale. It is what we have been waiting for. How is everybody doing in the chat? It is time for the one and only. It's the Group 1, the best of the bunch. It is eSeniors night. It's time to decide who wins this championship in Monza. My name is Niklas Kraus. I'll be the host for tonight, and there is still a very close fight for the podium positions in this championship, so stay tuned, get yourself something to snack, to drink, and enjoy this Sunday together with us here on track, brought to you by SimSport Solutions. Well then, what are we looking at? We've already covered Group 3 and Group 2 by Mark here, as well as having the pleasure myself commentating on an exciting race on the GT4s this week. So if you've missed that, then make sure that you check out the YouTube channel and give that one a watch. So very exciting races, and also everybody settling in, getting ready, getting some good experience around the track already and cheering on from the sidelines. So I'm very excited for this finish. We've seen plenty of action, and we are currently in the position where Andrea Caiola is second, but as far as I know, there's 2 results being crossed out, so things aren't all decided yet. Let's have a look at the standings, shall we? Here we go then. So I think he's already been pronounced here, but I'm not sure if that's correct, because I was talking to Jeremy earlier regarding these results. Either way, let's have a look here. Peter Wolfslaner leading. He got the 3rd spot on the podium in Silverstone. And Andrea Caiola took another victory. That's his 3rd one last time around. And who else do we have up at the front here? It's Carlo Vanderband, Jorgen Walby, Derek Bird, and Nongaro, all very much still in the contention for this 3rd position. And down the line, there's also a couple of drivers who certainly want to get themselves into the triple digits here during the season. Who am I watching out for tonight? It's definitely gonna be Rogerio Santos, the Ferrari driver. Very strong performance last time around, and I'm excited to see what they'll do. And of course, up at the front, we are seeing some very strong AMGs too. So, for example, Born was showing some great promise. So those are my candidates here tonight. Let's bring you back on over to the holding screen. So qualifying is about to start in about 2 minutes. Kenneth Lingholm in the chat. No offense to the commentator from last week, but it's good to hear that I'm back again. That is, in a sense, nice to hear as well. I'm sure that Juan did a good job. I was watching briefly, but I'm also very happy to be back around here. Nico Camden, let's go Johnny. See him out on track in a couple of minutes, and a good evening and afternoon from Peter David. Wonderful stuff. Peter, I reckon, did we see you in the GT4s as well? I think that name stuck around. And something I should probably mention as well, because I'm definitely in close touch with the organizers here, Jeremy and Michelle. Make sure you're giving them your every thanks at the end of the season. Let them know. So the next one seems to start in September already. So if I'm taking a look, that's just over a month. Not in the GT4s. I must have heard your name somewhere. It stuck around. Peter, where do I know you from? You love my enthusiasm. Yeah, that's what I'm all about. Great, fantastic stuff. And background, if you've been checking your watches closely, then you must know it's time to qualify right now. It's 15 minutes only. Much shorter qualification, much less time to set that perfect lap, get yourself a good start, because you want to be outside the ramming range, I like to call it. It can be turn 1 and 2, or rather the first and the second chicane. There's lots of trouble in those in the first couple of laps. Lots of action contained there, you could say. And Nikos is in the chat as well. Greetings from beautiful Greece. Fantastic that you found your way in here. Lots of you already are up and excited for the season finale, because I sure am. This is gonna be one hell of a race. 60 minutes, and we know how close it is. Back and forth. We know these are the top guys in the eSeniors. We know that they have got what it takes to drive closely, drive fairly, and most importantly, set some fantastic lap times. Well then, jump trackside and have a look together at who we can expect up at the front. And here we go then. Center of screen for you. Just after the qualifying has started, and now on the first flying lap that is being set out on the grid, Peter Wolfsley. Now he joined early this session. He's getting racy, he's getting ready and wants to prove it, wants to bring home another victory. Because if you do remember, last time that he got a victory was actually 4 weeks ago at the Hungaroring. So he's been on a little bit of a dry spree, not bringing home too many points at Spa after the incident. So he's been a little bit cursed past couple of races, looking to bring home a podium, if not a race win here tonight. Malcolm, hello everyone, looking forward to this. Oh, so am I. These lads have been practicing probably for the longest part. It's really the most renowned track in racing, you could say. GT3. Imagine you're just pulling up in ACC and you're gonna hit that the quick join button. Chances are you're gonna be on this track, so it's usually one of the most driven tracks for any driver starting out just now. And look how cleanly he's been driving through here. This promises to be a 47 lap time. 27 would be a bit ridiculous now, wouldn't it? Use van Wasserhof. Hope that's how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Hello, fellow drivers. Wonderful you made it to the chat here tonight. Let's see what it is gonna be. The first reference lap, Peter Wolfslaner takes as little space as he can, and that reference time will put him up at the front. It wasn't quite the 47, it was a 48.291, and that's not enough. You see it there. Andrea Caiola immediately follows up, puts him into the second place. Jonathan Wood then coming across in third. Bird is fourth, and let's have a look here. Krista Hiort, where is he gonna go? Seventh place for now. Neil Bywater going into third spot, very close to Peter here up at the front. Very close indeed. Now coming across the line, Craig Holmes is gonna be going for another attempt. That's not a valid lap. And Chris Spawn snagged himself a cheeky little bit of slipstream there. Well done, well thought out, and he puts it just ahead, just a couple of hundreds ahead of Peter Wolfsley. Now in second place, wonderful lap there, very well managed. And once again, he got the slipstream. It looks like a little bit of a tactical move even. Is that the number 47 of Jorgen Walby? Yes, it very much is. Providing some much needed slipstream to find those extra attempts. Sneaky. We might have to have a talk at the end of this, whether or not there was tactics being involved here. Let's check here with Eric Dont. I was talking about him earlier. Let's see what he can provide. And P8 on his first qualifying attempt, and we're seeing that Paulhoff and Stein matching times exactly the same lap time. And if you do wonder why these are actually apart and one is ahead of the other, that's down to the fact that one of them set the lap first and the other only followed up. Peter Wolfsley, there it is. That is the first mark. First check mark. First driver in the 47s here tonight. Wonderful stuff. He is going to take pole with that sort of pace. Derek Bird is able to improve to P6. He goes then across the line. Dimitri Startis cannot improve on that attempt. Terry Trowbridge now across the line. What is it going to be? No improvement at that point in time. And Giovanni Nifosi now snagging a couple of tenths. That's newfound P8 for us here. So Ungaro in 6. And I want to know, Chris Spawn, he might have it. Let's see if it takes him to pole. It is going to be P2. But only by a hair. Only by an inch. He had the slipstream, but not enough this time around, it seems. And we are seeing a lot of improvements here around. Mark Pocock, not with the valid lap yet. Could get himself in the 115. Oh, actually 149. Very well done. That's P17 for him. Now coming across the line, Rogerio Santos got a whole ton of data in the back. That's a P4. Wow, moving up the grid in style then. That 177 from Brazil. He brings the heat. Well done. That's a great lap from him. Eric Dont, he's got 4 tenths. That is going to be enough for a top 10. To be precise, it's a top 8 for the HOS for now. But I see lots of cars still finding time. Lots of cars trying to look for that front run. And I'm sure we're going to see a couple more improvements. Andrea Caiola then. He pushes aside. Actually, no. Sorry about that. He is being pushed aside. That is what I was going to say. What a let then. Peter Wolfslitter. He pulled over right away. He knows he has to get a fresh set of tires if he wants to improve on a 47.6 then. Wow, great pace. Patrizio Ungaro also improving to a P6, but not quite in the 47s that you would need for a front row position, a front row seat here. Action is coming for the mid-pack though. Craig Holmes is packing Delta. The Saint Austina Bentley is going to come across the line with 5 tenths in a spec. That might be enough for a P10, just shy of Eric Dont. Craig Holmes goes 11th then, and still has 6.5 minutes to make the most of the rest of his qualifying here. Right now he's sitting at a 48.6. Checking in now with Mark Pocock. He's just rounded the final corner. That curva, that parabolica, it's gonna be an improvement up to P14. Jumping 3 places ahead then. Well done. And Rogerio Santos not quite able to improve this time around. Let's have a look at around the track. Who is carrying some data? Rudolf Steiners, 2 tenths. It's gonna set him up a little bit further in the grid, but he's still in the mid-pack. Not quite where he wants to be. He might dial in with some last-minute setup changes here. I reckon he can still find a bit of time. As far as I know him, he's a fantastic driver. Alessandro Diamante, he's currently in 5th. Well positioned. Just so shy of that 4th place from Rogerio Santos. He's got a new set of slicks to make any further amendments here. So that's what he's going to do. Back to the pit lane, and Giovanni Nifosi only now coming onto a flying lap. Looks like a new livery, and I quite like that one. The S&P Racing in new flying colors. Wonderful to see. I do enjoy myself a good looking livery, and that is one that certainly caught my attention. Check in here, Andreas Peterson, and we're gonna go quickly on board in the hopes that he'll do another lap after this. So they're racing 300 in this colorful yellow and blue mixture. Just coming around the final turn. He's currently got 3 tenths, and we're gonna use this opportunity with 5 minutes left in quali to take a quick look together and see what a lap of Monza looks like. First of all, he is not gonna improve. Must have been an invalid lap, but we're jumping to the cockpit. We're then heavy on the brakes, and 3 to 1 at the 150, or even a little bit later. Very adventurous. They're just making the car stop in time. Now back on the power, catching a little bit of sand on the exit. That's gonna cost him a few tenths. Well then, so see what he brings so far. He's on a decent lap. He could very much get himself into the 48s if he finds 5 more tenths on the brakes. Then heavy into the second chicane. Will use all of the track. Wonderfully done, and straightening up the car right away. Once again, just a little bit wide. In the background, I'm also seeing Krista Yord got a massive amount of pace. in his back. First, let's go on the gas. Now watch on the right hand side, there's a little slight bit of fence paint just as he rear step out on him quite massively. That is going to cost him a lot of acceleration on this exit here. And I am following the rest of the quali for you guys, so you aren't going to miss too many position changes here. Watersliner still in front. Chris Spawn second place ahead of Kayola. So now moving into his car here, and lots of curbing. Oh, Andrea. Oh, Andrea, that's a little bit too much. That's sort of the line you kind of have to be careful of. Let's check in just briefly then with Krista Hjort coming across the line. That's 2 places up for him. Getting himself ever so close to this big old mid-pack here. And Chris Spawn, this is what I need to know of. He's currently got 3 10s. That would be enough to close the gap to the front here. I think that was a good request from Lee Ellis in chat. Is Kev also moving up? I'll try to look who you're mentioning with Kev. Perhaps you can clarify a little bit. Then I'll be able to cover that. And he lost a little bit of time throughout Oscari. So unless he's got a lot in the Parabolica here, and this might not be enough for Chris Spawn to jump to the front. I don't think it will be. So he has to go for another try. Leggett Esports Racing driver stays in second after losing quite a lot in the last sector. Here, I'll bring this up for you. You see it there. Personal fastest first, but losing in the second and third sector quite massively. Well then, checking in here, Giovanni Nifosi. If this lap is valid, this could be a massive step forward into the top 5, perhaps even better. Let's see what he will do coming across the line. Is it gonna be P8? P8 it is then. Not the perfect exit out of the final turn, but a very respectable lap. Jonathan Wood then also into P6. That's a step forward. That's a good step forward, that is. And we've also seen Dimitri Status improve by a couple of positions not too long ago. Noble now, with only 1 minute 30 on the clock. This will be the last few laps. They have to come across the line before the time runs out. Otherwise they won't get another opportunity. And it's also crucial to get that last minute lap out. You want to have the maximum amount of rubber on the track. That is exactly the strategy that Dable Noble has been following. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be a P3! It's gonna be Ultima Racing, the second row off the grid for now. He's pushing down Andrea Caiola into P4. What a lap then. What a fantastic lap that was. Now it's gonna be very difficult to continue improving on that. So now the man who has to show us what he's got in the back, that is going to be the Italian driver of the FD Racing department, and that is Andrea Caiola, second in the championship, and he has to get a fantastic result tonight if he wants to have any shot at bringing it close to Wolfsliner, showing what it's got. This qualifying will be a telltale sign. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be the P2. It's gonna be the 47.8. He's the second driver to cross that barrier into the 47s, and that shows us just how competitive Andrea Caiola is. What a lap. Well done. Peter de Jong then, from the Netherlands in the Pink Pig Porsche. It's going to be P19, moving up a couple of places here, and I'm also interested to see Terry Trowbridge. He's currently got 9 tenths. He's a little bit off the pace at the moment, but this could bring him very much to the middle of the pack here. Peter Wolfsliner will retire his qualification efforts. Didn't find any more time, but I don't know if he even needs to. 47.6 in these conditions. Absolutely stunning pace here up at the front. And then he's kept on getting more delta, the Englishman here in the 97. Aston Martin seems to find the pace late in qualifying at the moment. He's up by quite a margin, and we'll see what that nets him coming across the line. Terry Trowbridge moving on up then. P19, 4 positions gained, and if he would have kept those 2 310s that he lost in the last sector that could have been very much in the midst of the top 10 here. Chris Bourne now, he only needs a 10th. Is it gonna be enough? No! He breaks to the 47s, but he does not beat Kayola this time. He'll start from the second row of the grid. And still a fantastic qualification effort. Let's see, Kayola is ±0. He will be abandoning that lap, setting himself up for the race start. Only Peter de Jong is literally the only car out on track at the moment. He knows he's got a little bit of time in that last sector. He's hoping to bring that home. It's P20 for him at the moment. He would need to find 210s, but he is not going to. Not gonna happen. So that is a wrap up for this 15-minute qualifying. Very exciting. I do like this little change. Do appreciate that. It's a little more back and forth. A little more action here. Very action-packed qualifying. Do like to say that. And I very much hope the race is going to be just as good. I know these guys will give us an absolute spectacle out there tonight. Well then, as I'm preparing for the race start here, I'll give you the rundown in just a second. What a qualifying indeed. So we're seeing 28 drivers here for this grand finale in Monza. And you say it right, Nikos. Kev Forrest is driving the Group 2. Yeah, we'll see him next season, perhaps. He's been doing well. So this is the Group 1. Thanks for clarifying, Lee. Appreciate that. And lots of talent, really. Super great. And all within the same pace. Such a close midfield we saw during the qualifying. Well then, we bring it back to the grid now. For our little grid walk up in the lead. He showed it how it's done. He shows us he's probably winning this championship, or why he's already won it, depending on how you calculate the score there. It's Peter Wolseley now in first. Kayola doesn't want to slack behind at all, and he is not going to tonight either. Kayola in second place. Then it's Chris Bourne next to Noble. It's the two AMGs here up at the front, and a very strong qualifying Rogerio Santos. We talked about him before, and Diamante. Let's hope his race is clean, because he seems to be cursed a little bit with getting not the most wonderful race starts. Jonathan Wood, that's the number 71 to the left of us, Angaro. He's still fighting up at the front. Want to get a good position at the end of the race here. It's Nifosi, then Holmes. It's your top 10. And it's Bird, Bywater, Stein, Dont, Verberbad. It's Paunov, Pocock. Then Christa Yord, Trowbridge, Peter de Jong, Status, Patterson, Walby, and I'm not even done with the grid here. Wow, there's a lot of people here. Chris Baker and P24, then Rickard Weston, Alistair Hughes and P26, and that will be the starting lineup as we are getting ready for this race start. Once again, the Austrian will be leading the grid here. Let's hope it's a clean start. Let's hope everybody gets away well. So getting ready for the final race of the season. It's the eSeniors Group 1. My name is Niklas Kraus. And we're ready to go racing. Oh no! Oh, I was getting all excited. And so did David Noble. Apparently he jumped the start. Tragedy then for David Noble as we're going to the head cam. Very good start there for Worsley and Andrea Kayola getting away well. And super start for Jonathan Wood, who almost jumped there. Very well driven. Hardly any contact. So far so clean. The mid-pack as the Porsche being spun. Oh, Jonathan Wood then being turned around. That is tragic. He's able to recover from it though, as cars continue falling down the order, and some of them are gaining. So Terry, Trowbridge, Jorgen and Wolby still at the back. Yes, we're fighting very closely up at the front. Second chicane, that's another opportunity for easy crashing. Everybody is slowing down. Looks like it's tidy. Everybody is paying each other just the racing respect they deserve. Wonderful start so far, and we've seen a couple of overtakes during that as well. So far, so clean. That's what I like to see. Mid-pack, and so far it's just panning out, just ever so slowly. We're currently checking in a bit back further. See, Alistair Hughes, he's got the run on Baker now. Chris Baker will look to tend to the inside. And Alistair being a bit defensive, that might cost him the position actually. Oh, Rickard Weston, Swedish driver with his debut race, as far as I know, in the Group 1. Just takes up the inside, uses the opportunity as we're seeing Mers Parnov. Oi, oi, oi. What happened here? Oh, that doesn't look too good for the Aston Martin. And we're going to go back 30 seconds. Take another look here. So up and into the replay here. So far so good. And there might be some contact here. Very good move here. The 71 to the inside then. That's Jonathan Wood getting the move on, and a lot of cars slowing down as there's big contact. Yeah, the triple collision there. Oh, rough stuff. Very rough. In the background there's another purple Ferrari going off then in the background. So it actually didn't go down, didn't end the races. Sorry, that's actually not an active participating driver. It didn't end the races in the first couple of turns, was actually on the exit of the very unstable third sector out of Ascari, where the collision was. That is also... Oh, what a move there, Carlo Vanderban going around the outside. Well done, and look how close these are. He's able to fend off the position here as well. Gonna be bringing on the Delta timings as well, but still tragedy for Nobel. He'll hope to get that revoked, but if not, that drive-through will be costly. Nothing he couldn't be doing until the end of the race, but it's still very close. We're checking in Bywater against Craig Holmes. Side by side now into Ascari. That is a very bold move then. He's gonna take him around the outside. Decisive. Well done. And he is gonna keep it. Such a great move then by Neil Bywater. The 38 with a white and blue Porsche, getting the job done and moving up. Patrizio Ongaro here. He is in striking distance, and we have to check it up at the front as well. In just a hot moment. Yeah, let's actually do that for a brief moment, because Andrea Caiola, if I'm seeing this correctly, has got Peter Wolseley now on the defensive. He moves back in on the braking. Not quite sure about that one. It seems that Andrea Caiola was quite far back, so he just decided to move back to the racing line. Still a bit debatable. So these two are definitely negotiating. And who's going to come in first here? We've seen another move in the background. Peterson got past Peter de Jong. He seemingly is being brought back down the order just a little bit. Terry Trowbridge also losing the position to Rickard Weston then. He's coming back on up. I do want to take a look here. That is the car number 69 up in the front. That's Ms. Parnov. He's already a lap down due to that unscheduled pit stop. We saw the incident just a couple of minutes ago. So if you missed that... Oh, Carlo! Oh, no! Carlo is off. We're going to go back 30 seconds. What happened here? Carlo, he was doing so well. Such a great move, too. And it must have happened on the run into the second chicane. He's quite far back at this point, chasing the Ferrari ahead, and there's not too much trouble at the moment. He's going to go late. Oh, he's going to go very late on the brake, and he'll have to go to the runoff and decides to not quite straighten up the wheel. That's going to be super costly for Carlo Vanderbrand, who has to spin it around, but does rejoin safely. He finds himself back in 25th then. Not where he wanted to be. Now this is a move. Andreas Peterson against Peter de Jong. Late on the brakes. To the inside he goes. And he makes it look easy. Well done. And a move well delivered by the 23 here. Driver from the Netherlands makes it work. And delivers in style. Eric Dont now. To the inside of Neil Bywater. They've been fighting back and forth just a little bit. I think Eric must have lost the position on the last lap, and there's also... oh, that's Patrizio Ongaro off. And he isn't moving at all. Technical difficulties. Something is happening and he's gonna be furious about that. He had such a good run throughout the season. We're seeing a side by side in the background there. That's Carlo Van Brabant against Mark Pocock. But I'm gonna go back a full minute here because Patrizio Ongaro seems to be out of this race. Oh. Peter David, yes. Absolutely correct. It's three laps you have. So it's gonna be this lap at the latest. So he's got a very good run here on Diamante. He's to the inside. He's basically passed already. And they're still fighting, still negotiating. Trying to figure out who's gonna take the inside. Then on the grass, he completely got collected. Oh, he does his best Beyblade impression, but not on his own memes. He was absolutely shattered. Oh, and another poor race for Diamante. I don't think he is even on the server anymore. We've seen that so many times. Diamante coming in, doing decently in quali, and then it's gonna take him less than 5 laps before he's out of here again. And usually that isn't just him out. Usually there is another casualty. Sorry to say it this way, but it is just the way that it has been the past couple of races, I noticed. So very rough. Very rough. He got onto the grass, and of course that's just not what he wanted at all. That's not what I'm trying to imply here. There's so many scenarios where you just can back out of it, don't have to use that last extra inch. So that's going to be the race over for the both of them. Following here with Alistair Hughes coming under fire from Nifosi a little bit. It's back and forth. We also have 2 fights a bit further up the grid. Derek Bird against Neil Bywater. That seems to go down. So let's tune over there. This is the fight for P7. We saw him leaving the bottom left there. It's the 2 Porsches actually. Not a car I would have expected this far up at the front. They're doing absolutely great. Super close chase, and in the background it's also Dont against Holmes. Belgium against Great Britain. Who will come out victorious? Well, here we have 2 Englishmen. Trying to figure out who's taking the lead here. Breaking the charge, because Rudolf Stein ahead. Oh, that's a bit of a wide line from Derek Bird. It's going to cost him about a 10th. So he'll stay within the slipstream, while Craig Holmes now is very much in striking range. To the helicopter go. Craig Holmes has got the run. He's going to take the inside. That's a bit of overlap. Let's see if they are wise enough on the brakes. He's very deep. That might be a cutback. He's sideways, blocking him a little bit. So he absolutely sent it. Might have been playing a bit of F1, because that was an absolute send. He made it stick though. So kudos to him for spotting the braking point just right. Now he is gonna be fighting back, and once again so late on the brakes. You see it there. Craig Holmes is just beautifully covering the inside there, carrying so much speed, but this is not over. This is far from it. He is gonna share the big old Bentley toe, and with that this story might pan out in the next couple of turns here, because if these two keep fighting as close as they are, there might be an incident here. Let's see how they handle this. Wonderfully driven once again, so clean, using all of the track by both of them. Don not getting quite a fantastic exit, but that will allow him to keep his distance throughout. Here we have to check in though. Andrea Cariola is coming on heavy fire. Chris Vaughan is on him. He is a man on a mission. He wants to show us that he is definitely deserving to be a top candidate for the next season here. The Leggett Esports Racing driver is well within the tow, and this is exactly what he was looking for. He's going to force him to the inside on the defensive line. He's not going to get the greatest exit there, Andrea Cariola. Now these two will duke it out across the start-finish line on this lap number 5. And onto the 6th lap of the race, then they go. 149.5, that's 4/10 quicker for Bourne over Caiola. He moves back and forth. Lots of F1 vibes there. He's trying to force a mistake, trying to put some fear into the enemy's eyes in that sense. And they took that part of the grass from iRacing. I do reckon too that will look very spinny all of a sudden. Got all sorts of wild in no time. Hardly any chance for them to react at all. And a bit of a mistake there. In the background. So these two are still super close. 118 against the 67 here. And these are some top drivers. Ooh, Bywater. What's happening here? He was doing all too well. He got past Stein and Bird. That's 2 positions he'll have to say goodbye to after making just one measly mistake. Let's see what happened here. Back to the instant replay. It's all fine and dandy. Here, he's still ahead. Now heavy on the brakes. And over-judging it once again, sending another Porsche is being abused on that single curb there. Lots of time lost. And that's him being sent back down into position 8, where he's regained that spot against Derek Bird now. But that means he'll have to continue to bring on the fight here. Last race of the season. If we're having a look, what have we seen so far? The season started off with Barcelona, and that was the first time when we could see what Peter Wolfsliner could do. That was his first win, and a dominant one at that too. Very well done. And Jorgen Walby also snatching his second, actually the first of his only 2 podiums during the entire season. Actually, he got 3. I'm an absolute liar. Shame on me, I'm sorry about that. He got his first of 3 podiums during the season. Jorgen Walby. Not seeing him doing too well here tonight. After that incident, he's currently in P18. And we've also seen on that first race, Andrea Caiola coming home in 3rd. Some very close stuff here. Those are that first race. Ooh, Peter de Jong. Quickly interrupting me then as he thinks about it against Christa Yord. That could have gone very hairy. Very quickly then. If he didn't back out of that one, there was no room. The door was being shot by the Ferrari, and we're going to jump on board here. Because Peter de Jong has the slipstream. Look at him fighting the wheel. He wants to make it known that he's coming for this. And now side by side, the Ferrari of the Ferrari number 83. That's Christa Yord. The man from America thinks better of it. And let's Peter de Jong cruise on. Because he has got places to be by the looks of it. He's definitely pushing the car now. This is a 3-way fight for position. This is Neil Bywater leading the pack. Derek Bird in 2nd, and in the center of your screen, that is Craig Holmes for you. You do know that that Bentley 109 has got some massive advantage towards the end of the straight, just until the braking zone starts. That will be one of the strongest cars out here on the track, as he definitely closed the gap there. We've seen him do it before. Craig Holmes seems to be one of the best drivers out there on the brakes. Super good stuff, and we're seeing a back and forth in the background there. Peter de Jong against Christa Yord. He quickly exchanged positions before T1. But it's back to what we saw before. Yord chasing de Jong. And once again on the brakes, so far so clean. No major curb abuse this time around. That is good to see. Because not only can you ruin your lap, it's very easy to lose control of your car entirely. Now this will be an interesting one. Jonathan Wood actually, with the fastest lap of the race so far. Very interesting. So maybe some slight setup adjustments at the front. 149.9 for Peter Wolfsley now on his last lap. So he's certainly dropping a little bit. That gap is now down to 1.6. It's a bit of a back and forth between these two, as we are used to at this point in the season. Might be an attack here, and I'm also interested to see David Nobel against Andreas Petersen. They're side by side at the moment. We have to look at this side by side throughout this gallery. Hello? Oh, David, you can't be doing that. That is not legal. That is not something you can do. Andreas Petersen showing his racecraft then, making it possible to go side by side throughout the narrow section of the track. Now to the inside, David Noble will take the position in the end, moving up to 15th. And what a move to bring him there. He says it, pink, pink coming through. I do like that. Alright, checking in with this fight. David Noble still is ahead, but any sort of mistake could spell disaster. And we also have seen a mistake from Rogério Santos. We have to check in. Rogério Santos, that is the Ferrari here, and now Jonathan Wood. He's been on fire the last couple of laps. Last lap, he cut that gap down to 1 second. This lap, it's down to 3-4 tenths, and look how aggressive he is. Jonathan Wood wants to take home this 4th place and then some. He's got the pace right now. He just needs to move past the Brazilian here. He has to get it done in a timely fashion, because otherwise the front of the pack will be running away. Once again, he pulls to the inside. He is sending some signals, and he wants to get a move on. He definitely needs Rogério to push the pace a little bit. And Noble, you said it right. It's absolutely true. He is on a charge. He wants to bring back the position he's lost, and a quick follow-up once again, Craig Holmes. Now against Derek Bird. We've seen him fight against Bywater, who lost the place and is well on his way once again. He's already got a 1.7 second gap. And moving on quickly to the onboard we go then. Craig Holmes, and he has got the braking! Look how late that is! No, Craig. That is too late, even for you. He knocks over that little sign. I think he's got to give back the position. Well done then. But regardless of that, he was braking at the 100 board. Not even I can do that. Not anyone can do that at all. Man's a magician, but 100 meter board is not the place to break in. Allen line here. It's Alistair Hughes against Status. It's a fight for P17. That got very close for a hot second. Both of these running at a 0.53, 1 minute 53. It's the last lap for the both of them. And here, Jonathan Wood. Once again, this is the fight for P4. This is what I have been talking about. Once again, we're in a similar scenario. Cool Green, driver number 71, on a mission, on a charge. This is the straight line. This is not where the Porsche... Well, it does accelerate, but it doesn't accelerate, if you know what I'm saying. It's not the best at it, really. So I'm very happy to see that he's doing also well at the moment. Definitely making the most of what the car can put out. And once again, in striking distance here, only 3 tenths separating the two, and that is closing. Certainly. Now on the brakes, will he pull to the inside? No. He's continuing to follow. Last lap for him, a 48.9. That's the sort of pace he wants to go. So it looks like instead of fighting each other to the bone, these two are sort of forming a legion of pace. They both know. They both know what they can do. They're bringing the best out of each other. Pushing the other driver to do their best. It's a very interesting approach, and I do like that, really. Still only 2 tenths And while this peace treaty has been going on, they have been catching quite massively. They're over 3-4 tenths quicker than anyone else on the track at the moment. That means this gap, the 3 seconds between Santos and Born with the Aston in between, that is the 21st position. That is Jorgen Walby there. Yeah, oh, we missed something. We missed how David Noble got past Baker. Let's go back 30 seconds. Here we go then. Move was already done when we were checking in. So it has to be in this variante, in this little chicane on the brakes. And he is just gonna force a mistake. And he lifts off. Well done, well executed then. He was so patient and got rewarded right away, making Chris Baker push a little too much into the braking zone. That nets him the position. And here we go, then Neil Bywater. Is he gonna force a mistake? Very deep then for the AMG. He's not gonna get a fantastic run on the exit here. This is a big train starting to form, with someone a little out of place in the midst of it. That is Mirs Paunov, that number 69 car. And I also am getting some strategy calls regarding Jonathan Wood here. I'm not going to spoil that yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I think this should spice things up. As you do know, 45 minutes is the usual racing format, but we're slapping an extra 15 on top of that to make things a bit more exciting for this finale. Having a little bit of a banter in the chat regarding some overtakes from yesterday. Do like to see that. And Jonathan Wood, you say it right, Don. He's got some good pace. Could be up at the front, but that collision early in the race, you had to actually go into the pit lane, repair some damages. What are we going to see? This is still very close. One of the closest battles on track. Bywater against Stein. And we also have Wood. As we're seeing some cheers here in the chat. Let's check in with that. Nope. Still not quite. And once again we're following up with Neil Bywater. So it's a little bit of a back and forth here. Porsche moving on the attack. And that's 69 closing up then. Is he going to outlap himself? Yes, he is. Oh, Neil Bywater. What happened there? He didn't spot the braking point at all there. Sends him going around wide. Missing the position. And Rogerio Santos has just been taken in the second chicane while that was going on. So we are seeing position changes. Jonathan Wood now in 4th. He is chasing down. And he is just about to run into the back of Jorgen Walby here. Let's see how he handles this while these two are fighting. Santos now in 5th. He's got good pace and the Ferrari's got the better attributes, better suited for this track in a sense. Got that better straight line speed at the end of the straight. Might be ready to strike again at a very wide line then. Jonathan Wood losing a couple of tenths there on the exit, I'm sure of it. Seems to hold on for now. So we're going to go down the order a little bit. Alistair Hughes against Dimitri Statis. Sim Racing Montreal Ferrari. The 488 Evo in the very significantly purple. Number 12 here. Let's see what happens. Losing them each other just a little bit. That's a sort of thing with drivers who still haven't settled into the rhythm all the way. You're seeing some big front damage there. And that's the sort of area where even if those battles get very close, chances are they're going to move apart once again. And that's the best session lap for Peter. Wait, did I just miss that? A 47 save. Yeah, there it is. Wait, who did that? Who just got that? Number 2 car? Who is the number 2 car? That's David Noble. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. I was puzzled. Didn't expect him to be going the distance there. I mean, David Noble is a fantastic driver, but he's currently in P14. He seems that he knows this race isn't over for him. So he keeps on pushing. Definitely closing on Van Brabant. Almost over a second gained on the last lap here. We're gonna go back after we see how this pans out. Because I have the feeling David Noble won't be taking all too long. Doesn't seem he has the time. He would have the patience either to just stick on behind. Now into Ascari. He's gonna experience some bad air. That's basically when you're chasing another car all too closely. These GT3s. The air that has already been pushed aside means you're lacking a little bit of that downforce to keep you sticking to the ground. That also means you don't have to push as much air aside on the straight. That's the sort of toe he's now going to be getting. It's a mix of the two. On the brakes, late and deep, David Noble. With the job well done. Moves up into 13th. Well executed then. Communicated everything clearly. And of course, Carl also has to play. He did that very well on the West Coast. He saw that the other driver had a big pace overlap and did what was right. Now then, this is not something I would have expected to see. Last time we were checking in with the leaders, the gap was over 1.5 seconds. Now that's down to less than 0.6. Andrea Caiola gained a second on the last lap and seems to continue that forward momentum. The Italian Aston might have a shot here. This is the halfway point of the race. If anyone is going to go into the pits, get a bit of extra fuel, get a fresh set of tires, this would be the opportunity. Otherwise, I reckon lots of these drivers will be staying out until the end of the race, going for the regular strategy that we've been seeing for most of the season. See if there is any preference. No pit stops this lap at all here up at the front. But this is a close gap. Let's jump on board to the rear wing. Whoops, that's the wrong rear wing. That's the correct rear wing. Of Peter Wolfslaner then. And he got very sideways there for a brief moment into T1. Very aggressively scrubbing the tires, saying, okay, I need to push now. I need to go. And I'm going to use up my tires. And Jonathan Wood now, you see it there, from P5, that number 71 is going to go for the strategy I mentioned. He's into the pit lane. And going for a fresh set of slicks, I imagine. And Krista Yard also into the pit lane. Interesting. So 2 drivers taking that spot. And there's another opportunity for the guys at the front to copy that. Neil Bywater facing a problem, 5 seconds behind Derek. So Bywater at the moment. Now looking. Where do I even find Bywater? He's in P7. I know that there was some back and forth with Bywater because he did have a couple of... He was very quick, first of all. But second of all, he wasn't also super consistent, unfortunately. He had a couple of moments that sent him back in time and space, really. Sent him back a couple of positions, so he's already been in P5, fighting around the P4 area. And then there were some instances where he's where he's just lost the car, lost control, just the way that Status has lost that P15 to Alistair Hughes. Let's go back 15 seconds and have another look. So here we go then. That's the move that got it done. He's very close, looking left, right and center, and that is too late for that Ferrari. Yep, that's just gonna be him missing that second chicane, losing the position in the process. And that means Alistair Hughes will be moving on by water into the pit as well. And he's already cleared a bit of a gap, 4 5/10s. And this is Jonathan Wood. This is the man on the mission. Stop and go 30 for Krista Yod. That's really rough for the A23. Probably speeding in the pits. On the pit entry, if you have your pit limiter on, the fastest you can go is exactly 90 kilometers. If you go 91, you're gonna gotta stop and go 30 right away. Otherwise, you're good to go, and this is Jonathan Wood to the inside now of Trollbridge. Hello. That's the Porsche number 38, I think, of Neil Bywater. Yep. So he gets the move done then. And it almost got into a three-way fight. Definitely 3 wide for a brief moment there. That got very feisty. Bywater out of the pits here too. Has taken the pit stop. Was far up at the front, and it looks like this could be the go-to strategy for some of the Porsches. Baker in the pits as well. So they're running a strategy where they're just pushing for all and everything, hoping to gain back the places. What a rapid movement to the inside then. Hello, Neil. There was the door was closed there by Trowbridge. Even if you don't like it, you'll have to sit patient for a little bit longer. Now you've got the run. Now you've got the momentum. This should be the move. He's getting all sorts of impatient. He has places to be. David Noble in the pits as well. Interesting. So we're seeing a bit of a shift after there were some shy cats in the beginning. Not a lot of acceptance for that pit lane strategy. Now things seem to turn around. Tables have been turned. As also Neil Bywater's race could be turned upside down here in a second. If Trowbridge misses the breaking point, no, he's gonna keep on fighting. I'm not sure if he knows that Bywater's on a fresh set of slicks, but essentially costing both of them a little bit of time. He doesn't want to give up that P16 though. Chances are he might have to. Englishman once again ahead. And at the front, Peter Wosliner has found back his groove. Last lap of 49.1. It's about 6/10 quicker than the rest. So Noble now moving on. He's going to rejoin the track well down the order. Right around P18, and he's going to be a full lap down. You hear the cars in the background there. That's actually your leaders passing by. So you'll have to drive in a full lap, a full 150 seconds of time on a fresh set of tires. He's going to be stuck behind them, I reckon. Not sure if that was the right strategy call for Noble there. But he wasn't too far off the grid from where he left off, so that might just be him trying to bring it back. Dimitri starters against Hughes. We've seen these two before. Yeah, an absolute bummer for Wood. Much agreed there. So Jonathan Wood didn't have a fantastic race. So far he's 13 seconds behind this pack we're following. It's the fight for P12. Alistair Hughes against Dimitri Statis, and they're going to be coming across the line in a second here. Let's have a look at the pace difference here together. Neat little overlay. We're seeing it there. Dimitri Statis was gaining. So Alistair Hughes, in this case on the left-hand side, was losing. He's got a good first sector. On the second and third, it's not doing all too fantastic. And this is already past the halfway point. That means everybody is going to start feeling some tire degradation now. The weather is fine. But regardless of that, the tires will start to take a dip down eventually. Cars, however, will become ever more light as the minutes pass. So chances are the straight line speed will be better, but the cornering will become an absolute nightmare eventually. At the end of the hour, I reckon seeing 149, 150 as your race pace, that should bring you quite well ahead. Now what I want to know, Jonathan Wood is closing the gap quite a bit. Last time we checked it was 13.5 seconds, now it's 11.6. Hold on, what happened there, Hughes? Alistair? What were you doing there? Was searching the big runoff there. Oh, it's very unfortunate. He's going to lose the position. So these two are yo-yoing back and forth with one another. We're seeing another quick lap by Wolfsliner. 48.9. That is. We stay very close. Let's not take our eyes off the screen at all. Alistair is looking forward to Lauda and Dimitri. Once again with the runoff. Let's see if he gives up the position. Yes, he will. These two, essentially, battle of the least mistakes. Will keep it clean. It's going to be the one going to the top here at the end, I reckon. Good Tolen. Well, hello there. Come to the racing action. We've seen lots of great fighting here so far. Some unfortunate fates, but definitely good pace all around. Let's take this opportunity and bring you a quick rundown of the grid. Pole position and a good race so far. This gap has been going up and down. Every lap seems to be a new roll of the dice. Who finds the consistency and who makes a little mistake then? A bit sideways there for Peter Wolfslane, and we saw it there, the four-wheel power slide, taking about 2/10 out of his lap time. Chasing closely. He's got him locked in his sights, very much still within the action. That's Andrea Caiola for you. Italian driver number 67 in second position. Respawn, he's been holding on. He just got pushed onto the second row of the grid during qualifying process. He's still in third at the moment, just looking to pounce on any mistake. And what you would reckon is the AMG in P4 there. It's actually a P18. That's actually David Noble in the background. That's the green AMG there. It's actually Rogerio Santos. He did a fantastic job in qualifying and kept his nose clean so far. Fighting very well and trying to bring the pace he needs to stay up at the front here. This lap is going to be a 1:49.6 for him. So good consistency, but he needs to find a couple of tenths to get to the front and close that gap. P5, that's Rudolf Stein. He originally started, if you do remember, in P13. So he's been gaining 8 positions all throughout the race so far. So great job then for Rudolf Stein. Derek Bird, that's the Porsche P6 here, the DBK. Up and down, he's definitely been fighting. Let's see whether 701 brings it home. Craig Holmes here in position 7 in the Santos Sinner. So we're seeing another Bit of an off track there from Ferrari. Who is that? It looks to me like P23, Krista Yard. As we have to quickly check in here, Jonathan Wood. He's already closed the gap on status, question mark? No, on use. I'm very sorry. Yeah, that must be a Bentley. That's Alistair Hughes, of course. He's gonna take the outside and get it done. Hardly any time. See if I can keep it on the brakes. So seemingly things are working. He's only got 18 minutes still in the race, and Mark Pocock against Terry Trowbridge is another overtake. Possibly happening into T1 here. He pulls to the inside. He's late on the brakes. Room is being left on the curbing. Then he turns back around, cuts over the racing line of Terry then, who punts him out of the way, but he didn't have anywhere to go. Most of Group 2 is watching. Yeah, this is where we learn. You say it right, Peter. Entertainment and grabbing a few things to implement in your own racing. That's just fantastic. So, where were we? Craig Holmes in 7th. It's Eric Dond here. That was the next in line. It's the HOS Racing 963 Ferrari, currently in 8th place. Peter de Jong, if you recall, he started well back in 20th position. And he's already in the top 10. And he's still got a bit of time. Looks like he's doing absolutely great this race. Not the track where he would consider qualifying a specialty, but we're seeing it here that Peter de Jong can just do it in the race and execute what he doesn't quite get during the qualifying. Carlo in the West Coast Origin Porsche. That is your P10 at the moment. That number 4. Moving on, Andreas Peterson. That's your P11 at the moment from Sweden here. Dimitri Starters is in P12. Lots of screen time for him already. Jonathan Wood, he's doing the recovery drive after an additional pit stop strategy. Trying something slightly different. Alistair Hughes in P14 at the moment. He originally started in P26. Neil Bywater. If you do recall, we've seen him well up ahead. At some point, he was very much contending at the front. Right now, he's fallen back once again, just a little bit. Ups and downs for Bywater. Let's see what the final 15 minutes bring for him. Terry Trowbridge, that's your P16. Englishman is about 3 seconds ahead of Pocock and being chased by the 991 right now. That is Rickard Weston here. Just bringing up on screen. Not the debut race in the Legom racing he was looking for. He did well in quali, but he'll try to settle in a little bit more in the next season, I reckon. Well, and P17, that's Mark Pocock for you. Certainly closed the distance quite a little bit after that tussle between Weston and Trowbridge here. It's definitely there. About 8 tenths between the two now. On the exit of Ascari. Don't want to take our eyes off of this. Some good racing action about to come up. Let's see what happens here on the brake. Mark Pocock hitting that apex nicely. If you guys know, give a little cheer on for Mark here. How about that? Because he is also bringing you the Group 2 and Group 3 broadcasts. Dave is giving us the spirit. Go, Mark! He's got the run. To the inside then and on the grass. We've seen that before. Just very well controlled then. Barely managing to make the car stop in time. What a moment there for Mark Pocock. Aye, aye, aye. A little bit of an idea, and I do like that. Maybe something we should pitch over to Jeremy and Michelle. Getting the group, the GT4. Hello there, Mr. Trowbridge. What happened there? he's off. He's lost it. Oh no. Let's go back 30 seconds as he's being caught up to the leaders. By the leaders, sorry. To the replay we go then. Everything fine here through the curve of Grande as we're going on board. Now this is where the mistake happens. Heavy on the anchors at the 152nd first, and way too late. Oi, oi, oi. So he's going for a little bit of a roller coaster, and how good is that? He did not touch the wall at all there. So very lucky for Terry Trowbridge, who was a little bit all over the place now, trying to regain what was his race constitution. And then David Noble in 18th. He had to go for an extra pit stop, and a long one at that. Minute 15 entire duration. That's almost a full lap, and that's exactly where he sees himself right now. He's chasing that P3 of Chris Spawn. That's the purple AMG ahead. P19 Jorgen Morby, the TF Sport 47. It's not too much screen time for the Swede tonight. Not too much action that he's involved in right now. Chris Baker, that's your P20 in the Rotec Racing. We have a look, Chris Baker in the championship itself. He's actually doing a little bit better than that, seemingly retiring the car apparently. He's got some good points in the past couple of races. Doesn't look like he'll be getting much this time around, so he sets himself up for a pit drive. Mospaunov, he'll be benefiting from that. Had a very rough start, but I'm glad to see that the 69 Aston is still with us. Still racing out there. And as I hear from the chat in Dun Queen, there is a Mount Panorama wet race. Now, who scheduled that? Mus, hello. Alright then. Well, I must say, as we're getting a little bit of confetti on the track there, a little bit of debris being sent to track side, courtesy of Mospaunov here. So, you guys are still racing? I thought there was going to be a little bit of a break here in between the seasons. It's good to see. But at the Mount Panorama, I do feel you there, Don. The dry race on Monday, and Nikos confirms. I see, okay. It's a very difficult track, and then adding rain to that equation, oi, oi, oi. It's even be it a fun race. It's gonna be very cautious all around the mountain, especially if it's mixed groups. Where then Rickard Weston moving up into P21. Chris Baker's now leaving the pit lane, and Krista Yard also in the pits. That might be a retirement, but we'll see more of that in a moment. Back here up at the front, and not too far apart, 1.1 second. And with almost identical laps, let's have a look at this. So Peter lost just a little bit. He's quicker in the first sector, but a personal fastest last sector on the last go around. Oh, hold on, sorry, that's actually the fastest laps. That is the correct timing, yeah. And valid lap for Peter Wolseley now last time around. And he's losing quite a bit in this second sector, and we see it here as well. Visually, they're coming closer, and now there's traffic ahead. Now this will get interesting. Jump to the helicam on Peter here. He's about to come onto some traffic. It's a P16, and I reckon P17. No, sorry, P16, and then there's another Porsche. I can't quite tell who that is. Now he's around to the outside. Looks like there's room being left. Got a bit of slipstream. It could help him as that's a drive-through. Oi, oi, oi. Jonathan Wood. Oh, You've got so many fans in the chat. Tragedy spills with only 8 minutes to go. Oh yeah, that's super unfortunate. And I do have to agree, it's very, very unforgiving track to even practice on. It's not something where you're just casually picking it up and giving it a go. You really have to dedicate some hours and probably some lifetime in that sense. You're gonna feel older after you're done practicing it, like mentally and overall, as if you would have aged about 2 years in just the span of an hour or so. It's crazy how time warps when you're on the mountain. Must be all that altitude change. You can do a 205 in panorama with the Aston. The AlphaTauri Lambo is what you'll be choosing. Oh, I feel like the Lambo is a very interesting car to drive there. And the question of fuel that Dave is asking here is everybody equipped with enough fuel? Now would be the time. Check your bottom right if you're on the track and driving, because this is the last opportunity you're going to be getting to fix any sort of fuel mistakes. Oi, 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 Peter Wolfstein is very aggressive on the curb there. No wonder he's gaining time in the last sector when he sends it over there like this. But regardless of all that, Andrea Caiola is flying. He might set his PB lap if he can bring it around the parabolica. He is absolutely quick. Now there's 2 more position changes coming up. David Noble already got the jump on Mark Pocock. And Rudolf Stein now against Derek Bird. 48.7, there you go. I think that was one of the fastest laps we've been seeing so far. Yeah, very close to the time of the AMG. You see it there in the background. Ay, ay, ay. I'm lapping himself. And let's have a look here. Derek Bird trying to spread his wings and fly into P5. Rudolf Stein has got other plans, however. He wants to bring that top 5 finish home. And somebody didn't get the memo about it being an hour long. Well, that's rough. First of all, that's really rough, but in a sense, don't you kind of check when you're just like waiting in the car? Shouldn't it say that there's an hour to go? I'm not sure. Either way, it's really unfortunate. Derek Bird, young mister, what have you got in store for us? Rudolf Stein is starting to get all defensive here, and rightfully so. The Porsche 701 might get it done. Would you look at this? Oh, he's got him now. Surely he will. He's got a fantastic run, and Peterson in the 300. It's the next drive-through. Next drive-through being handed out. So these guys pushing for all they have. Derek Bird on the inside. No. Ay, ay, ay. Oh. Didn't realize it was a 60-minute race until you got on the grid. Yeah, it's panic and choose usually. If you have the opportunity to refuel, it can help just a little bit, but well, what do you know? You might just find yourself on the grid and panicking once you realize that counter is a little bit higher than you've been seeing all season, because this is the finale. Oh, Jonathan Wood. I think he used the run off there, lost some time, the position against David Noble, who's back in P15. I think that's where he left off before the pit stop, more or less. And this is the fight for the lead here. Last lap for Caiola. He gained 3/10 on Wolfslehner. Now this is the area with 4 minutes to go, where all of a sudden the adrenaline starts to kick in. This is where you really feel it. You really go into it. Get everything out. Use the last warnings if you have any left over. push it into the Ascari and jump the curb if you dare. Andrea doesn't, takes the safe route. I do appreciate that. And we see it, yeah, the 300 of Peterson is in the pits serving that drive-through penalty, so he was doing mighty fine. That'll go and put a check mark on his race. Has little to no time to recover from this, but he's still gonna be happy. Not quite in the top 10 then, but he'll be rejoining right around P12, I reckon. Let's have a look. Peterson P14 as he's coming back out of the pit lane. And probably 2 more laps to go here. And Monza, this big finale, you say it right, Nikos, brought some major misfortune to some great drivers out there. That is why it's the finale. Everything can tumble up or down. The championship standings are not set in stone. This is the race that can topple any and everything. We're going to check in while this still continues to brew. A battle that's already very much unleashed. We've seen these two before. It's Neil Bywater against his everlasting foe. It's Alistair Hughes, who's defending P12 here. And a 1 hour race, definitely more changes, pit stop options, some great driving to match it. Lots of fighting, and I also like the short qualifying that gets a little bit more spice into it. Have to deliver in less time. Let's talk a little bit about delivering here, because in order to deliver some good feedback to how you enjoyed the broadcast, how about you drop a like on here? It's free, it would be very much appreciated. Just hit that little like button. How about that? That's going to show Michelle and Jeremy that this has been the racing action that you guys have been wanting. And with that, Neil Bywater is going to set one of my, I was about to say favorite moves, but what a comeback then. Well done from Alistair Hughes, who takes back that position. He judged it just right. Wow. And a mixed grid at Spa. I do like that too. Now Alistair will give up the position once again. This fight, and this time he's gonna stop it in time. Neil Bywater still discussing with him here. Alistair now back in P13. Looks like that is settled for now. Now on then to the fight for P5. Derek Bird against Stein. I'm gonna go on board and have a look. With only 40 seconds on the clock, this could be the last lap. We'll have to check in. This is gonna get very close if this is the last lap. If we're gonna see just one more. Either way, Derek Bird doesn't have much time here. If he wants to get home that P5, he'll have to get a move on. Thank you, Mark. Greatly appreciate that. Getting a couple of likes on here, that's fantastic! Oh, Derek Bird, he threw it away. He knew he didn't have much time left. Oh, time's run out. That means this will be it. Peter Wolselina, championship leader. He's got race wins, he's got podiums, he's got poles, he brings it home. What a drive then from the Ferrari. 196. Peter Wolselina brings home the finale win just ahead of his championship rival, ever so strong Andrea Caiola, who was chasing him. He gave him no breathing room all race long, but there were not enough mistakes. So he'll take second. Third on the podium, Chris Bourne. He's got his wipers out and ready. He's wiping away the tears of joy after finishing in third. He's shown a lot of promise for the next season. Well done then by Chris Bourne. Rogerio Santos will come on fourth. That's your P4 finish. Wonderful stuff there, Rogerio Santos. He didn't see too much action during the season, but seeing this here, this is his second great finish in a row. Silverstone, he got second place as well. Rudolf Stein has P5 for the for the Canadian Red Nose Racing in the number 14. Well done, Craig Holmes. That's your P6. A great finish to wrap up the season for him. Eric Don, that's P7. Derek Bird comes home in P8. It's Peter de Jong in 9th. Then Carlo Vanderband only now across the line. Wonderful, that's your top 10 and still racing here. This could go down to the wire. Dimitri Statis against Neil Bywater. This is not over yet, but he gets good traction. Look at that here. Wow. Alright, he really wanted to try something there. Not happening. P11 for Statis, P12 for Bywater. Hughes comes home in P13. Patterson 14th after an unfortunate drive-through, putting him out of the top 10. Noble 15th. Jonathan Wood 16th on the alternative strategy. Pocock is P17. Trowbridge P18. Walby 19th, Pavlov 20. And Rickard Weston in his debut race didn't get the result he was hoping for. There's still loads of races in the next season, and here they come, the leaders. Championship winner and well deserved. Big congratulations already. We're gonna hear him once again in the interview. Thank you so much, everybody watching. What a race. What a season. The GT3 Group 1, the strongest of the eSeniors, brought to you by SimSport Solutions, brought to you by Michel and Jeremy. My name is Niklas Kraus. We're going to jump over to the holding screen. Aye. Krista in the chat now as well. Missing you for a bit of the race. Make sure you have the liveries. Yes, I will for the next one, I'm sure. And Peter will get his own little group. It's just him against Caiola in the next season. No, I think Born was close. I think Caiola, I mean, he took some race wins from us as well. And not just based on luck. I think he had great pairs too. Now, this is something we have to talk about. I mean, I was already discussing with Peter in private regarding some ideas to bring the cars a little bit closer together. But we'll see how that pans out once we get there. Once again, thank you all very much for watching, being so active in chat. And much love back to you, seeing some great praise. I do appreciate that very much, that you're enjoying the broadcast that we're bringing to you. Now then, I'll be heading on over into my little interviewing booth. And I already see that we have our top 3 waiting right on in there. Let's bring them in. I also see Lee Ellis. Not sure who Lee Ellis is. Not sure if I should bring him in as well. So Chris Bourne 3rd, Caiola 2nd, and Wolfslaner. Let us bring them in then. Sorry if I interrupted your conversation a little bit, but we have major things to attend. And what a close race. What a finale. Super close on the qualifying already. And sticking together all race. Congratulations to the 3 of you, really. Let's start with Chris Bourne. He finished in 3rd, held on to that. Did you feel the pressure during the race?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I noticed a couple of guys were catching a little bit. And then once me and Andrew started fighting, I decided not against it because I lost the front end a little bit into the last chicane. And I was like, well, the next time I'll just give a bit of space because we don't want the guys behind catching up. So I thought we'd just try and build a little gap a little bit.
Yeah, I see. So I think you did fantastic. This race, really a great show, showing that you can you can be there with a top talent, I have to say, that we like to see in the broadcasting booth here together in the interviews against Andrea and Peter. What are your plans for the next season?
Mine, sorry.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
Don't know. Maybe try something a little bit different. Maybe try a car outside the box. Hopefully, I'll be using both legs by then, so it might be all right.
Yeah, it's a little special something. Do you mind telling us on stream a little bit about it?
Yeah. So in April, I snapped my patella ligament clean off. So I'm in a cast on my left leg, like a big splint on my left leg, so I can't actually use it. It's in a straightened position beyond my clutch pedal, so just using the one foot with yeah, unfortunately that's what it is. Hopefully it's getting better.
Yeah, we hope so too. Getting some big support.
Can I just say, guys, can I just dedicate this third place to my father's other half who passed away last week.
My condolences. Yeah, you can, obviously, yeah.
Thank you very much, thank you. But yeah, no, so hopefully the legs are getting better and bring on next season.
Yeah. Our hearts are with you, Chris.
I might need some sort of nitrous oxide bottle or something to keep up with him to the front, but hey ho.
Yeah, second place finish was back and forth. You were enjoying some race wins recently. You got the Silverstone in and Suzuka too. Now it's back again in the second seat. And you were also close, Andrea. Congratulations on your second spot here tonight.
Thank you, Nicholas. It was really close. Very much the same pace. I tried a couple of times to push to a little bit to try to see if I could put some pressure on Peter, but actually I was taking too much risk, especially the last mode 2. So
yeah,
I had a couple of times I had to back up a little bit and see that.
I see, yeah. So it was very close, always long. Peter didn't always want to share the slipstream moving to the inside. We saw that a couple of times. It's very competitive up at the front. And it was yo-yoing back and forth. Was there a certain point in the race where you felt you were a bit quicker, or was that just lap-to-lap basis?
Well, I think it was in the middle, halfway. That I get a little bit closer than usual to Peter, but then I made a little mistake. I lost 3/10, I think, at the La Roggia, and then there was no way to catch him. So yeah, congratulations to him again. Very consistent, not a single mistake that I was hoping for, but did not happen as usual, because I've never seen Peter making a mistake through the whole championship, and that I think speaks for itself.
Yeah, speaks lengths about him. And let's move on to him again. Congratulations for your P2. Very well driven. Hoping to see more of you in the next season. Now, we've talked about you a bunch, Peter. Every race, you seem to be up there at the front. Hardly any mistakes. Hardly any ground that anyone can gain on you. Congratulations on the championship and the race victory here at Monza.
Thank you very much, Niklas. Very nice from you, and congratulations to Andrea and of course to Chris. And it was an intense race, as always, with Andrea and also with Chris. Even with he has his injury on the left leg. Unbelievable braking and throttle with one leg. So I hope he will be better soon in the next season at least. Yes, this race, it was the tough one I expected.
Yeah.
And I was lucky actually, and it could have been Andrea as well or Chris. I fight it with front and left tires, mostly with 26.9 psi to 27.2 after 20 minutes. I don't know why.
Maybe I think I have an idea. We saw you being very aggressive on the exit curb of Ascari. Pretty sure
yes,
you sent the left curbs through some big torment there.
Yes, and of course with the Ferrari you need to take care of the fuel. So I was driving the first 2 laps with mapping 1 and then reduced to keep the distance. And then I saw Andreas coming up. So I said, okay, now it's the right time to
Need to put in some
go
extra
from
horses
Mapping
into
1,
the engine.
yes.
Yeah.
And I saw in Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 there was a gap, and he gained again in the rest of the track. So actually I made some smaller mistakes, and I was very lucky. It could have been also different. And congratulations all. Thanks Nicholas for the stream. Thanks Jeremy
Of
and
course.
Michelle for the wonderful season. For all the other guys in our group. Such a wonderful community. And thank you all. And
Yeah,
hope
really
will
fantastic.
be.
So now that we've got you on the line on the stream live, now we have you here as a championship leader, as a form of representative as well of the very quick drivers. Is there something that you're looking forward to in the next season? Any sort of changes? Any sort of ideas?
I think there is a lot of ideas going around by the organization team. Some of the ideas for me are quite promising. I don't know. I think if 60 minutes is really a wonderful length, I have to say. And yeah, let's see. I think there is a bunch of people, a group of people. They're already creating the new season. I'm not involved in that, and I'm gonna take it as it is.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. I hope you've had a fantastic time out on the track. Anyone watching us here still, make sure you drop a like to the stream. This has been the grand finale. We've crowned our victors. We've had a fantastic time. We hope to see you again in September. Tune back in. We might have some fun events in the meantime as well. I'm not sure if you'll be seeing my face, or rather hearing my voice. More of that. But either way, I thank you all so much for tuning in. So much respect to all the drivers out there bringing us the action, keeping it clean, and being out there on track, making it happen. Once again, my name is Niklas Kraus. This has been brought to you by the SimSport Solutions team, the eSeniors, GT3, the Group 1, strongest of the bunch. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you around very soon.